Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. Tonight we're eating a low carb dinner and I thought I'd show y'all how we're doing our low carb, sort of like a meat casserole. This is just something I've put together that we like, and it's a very low carb dinner, so if you're doing a low carb diet, this might be the recipe for you. So come on and let's turn around here and I'll show you what it's going to take to make this low carb dinner. Hey y'all, this is what you're going to need for this low carb ground beef dinner. You're going to need 1.5 pounds of ground beef, 4 tablespoons of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of real butter, about a half a cup of purple onion, and then I have 2 little green onions cut up here we're going to put on the top. And we're going to use a cup and a half of pork rinds, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, garlic, salt, and pepper. And then for the top, I'm going to add a little bit of mozzarella cheese and just a tiny bit mixed in my creamy sauce that I'm going to make to go inside the meat mixture. And we're going to use a half a cup of heavy cream. And I'm going to even add a little bit of cheddar cheese to my topping. But let's turn around here and start cooking our ground beef up first. So we got to get our ground beef cooked out and drained, and then we'll go from there. Here's my pork rinds, and this is what I use to crush them in. I set my little top to my garlic powder in there, but you put them in there and you just grind it up, and it's good for herbs. You can mince up your herbs real good with that, and you crush them, and it brings out the good flavor of your herbs. But it's good too for making our crushed pork rinds. And then we're going to add our cheese to our pork rinds and make us a topping that's low carb. And for your butter, make sure you're using real butter, not margarine or any of that fake stuff. You want the real butter. Our ground beef is starting to turn brown and get to cooking. And this is not a very real expensive meal either, with the groceries as high as they are right now. Every time you go to get groceries, you walk out of there and you're spending $100 to get just a few things. So you need to try to use what you have in your pantry. To go with your recipes, and that helps. We're going to go ahead and start preheating our oven. Let your ground beef sit there and drain while you're cooking your onions and your cream sauce. Okay, now that I've got my onion good and brown, I'm going to go ahead now and add my 2 tablespoons of butter. And let that be cooking down. Melting good and getting covered in all my little onions. And I'm going to add some beef broth too. I didn't show that a while ago. I had it sitting to the side, but I'm going to add 2 cups of beef broth. I'm going to go ahead and put my cream cheese in the mixture and let it start cooking down and getting soft, which is already soft. I had it sitting out. Just let it start melting. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/2 cup of cream, heavy whipping cream. My 2 cups of beef broth. And give that a mix and let that cheese start melting down. And then to that I'm going to add this is a teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, actually 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. About a teaspoon of black pepper, because Travis likes a lot of black pepper. And about a teaspoon of pink salt. And give that a good mix. And just bring that to a good simmer. And we're fixing to add our meat mixture back in our cream sauce. Now that we've got our sauce melted down, we're going to add our ground beef back to our skillet. And then just mix it in. And we're going to let our ground beef mixture just sit there and simmer and get good and hot and start boiling. Now to our pork rinds, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of the Parmesan cheese. And we're going to give that a mix. We're going to use this little casserole dish to put it in. Okay, now that we've got our meat mixture all, it's done. It's the cream sauce is real thick and creamy, but don't get it too dry, because you want to have it still have some creaminess to it so it don't dry out while you're baking it. What we're going to do now is just go ahead and spray us this little casserole dish. And we're using coconut oil. And I'm going to put my meat mixture in here. And I may have a little bit too much, but we're going to try it and see. No, I think we'll have just enough. Just the right amount for this little casserole dish. And then we're going to just spread our meat mixture out. Clean up my mess. And once you have that in there, we're going to get our pork rinds over here. But first, I'm going to add a little bit of cheese to the meat. I'm going to start by adding some mozzarella cheese. Just a little bit, not much. Probably a fourth of a cup, maybe. And then we're going to add some cheddar cheese. And about the same amount of it as we did the mozzarella. And now I'm going to take my pork rind and the Parmesan cheese, the dry mix that I made, and we're just going to cover the top. And it won't take all of this, but you could always put it in a Ziploc bag and have it for different casseroles, or you can use it to bread and fry pickles in. You can bread it with and fry your chicken tenders, but put a good amount so you'll have a good crispy crust on the top. And then once you get your pork rinds and Parmesan cheese mixture, we're just going to put a couple little slabs of butter on the top of that. Just so it don't dry out. And this will help it stay, it'll make it even more crispier and moister. And then to that, we're just going to add our green onions to the top. And now we're going to put it in the oven and bake it on 350 for about 30 minutes. And we'll bring y'all back when I take it out. Okay, now we're taking it out of the oven and we're going to let it cool a few minutes and then we'll get us a piece of it.